Can you guess what we're gonna talk about? I'm so excited for this next episode. I really want some depth of character and some shampoo and some mousse. Let's do it. No, seriously, let's do it. Really smart that every episode their intro varies and they do something artistically interesting and different. This old shadow puppet style, like historical style, is really cute. I love it. I love Kodachi's intro. It's like she's arguably like crazier than Kuno, but there's something in that family where like they've got this really weird idea that they're like the main character in everything. I don't understand. Yeah, so a soda can rolls, it's a little dramatic, and then you see her walk into frame, like too cool back to frame, really neat. And then you see Ranma as a girl basically being like, oh, you know, it's such a better idea to like get food or shop or negotiate. I imagine she negotiates. I negotiate at the store. 100% true. 100% true. So really great intro for Kodachi, like I'd said earlier. Kodachi's fighting these girls. She's obviously beating them to a pulp and they're wearing full-on mummy style bandages. So clearly this fight is already over before it's even begun. And Ranma, female, enjoying the spoils of his negotiations, kind of interferes and he's like, look, this is clearly not a fair battle, like, cool it. And she's like, you don't come off as like the average woman kind of thing. And he's like, well, I'm not. Well, she's like, no, I'm not. And Kodachi approaches, right? And she goes to fight and Ranma does this like sweep move, really cool. Had the like dark undertones that they do in every battle here, where it has the purple shadowing and flatness, love it. And in this kick, they kind of split the coloration, implying that Ranma's the lower half and heated, and Kodachi is the upper half cooler, and as you can see, flying through the air. Yeah, very cute. So Kodachi goes on to introduce herself, and of course, just like Kuno, she's given herself some weird name, and she's like the Rose of blah 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 girl school. Oh, and also it's really nice that they have the nod to the China like communist outfit that Ranma wore so many times in the manga and in the original anime. I was waiting for it, and it's nice they finally did it, because it seems like in the last episode where she was wearing that outfit and they kind of expunged the smile on her chest, it used to say China. And I forgot to mention it, but it dawned on me later that I thought they were kind of like taking those bits out of the show. It's nice to see that they're still here. And it's nice that Kodachi keeps her like psychopath Looney Tune laugh as she like leaves her exit. I used to love that on the show. It was so insane. So Ranma takes the girls home and they discuss, well, like the beaten up girls, and they discuss with Akane what's going on, and apparently there's a martial arts where they fight with rhythmic gymnastic tools. So like ribbons and those flippy dealies, and I imagine the hoops. We'll find out. And they played with Akane because she's kind of known for being a good fighter, that she helped them out. So it's really funny because Ranma and Akane are in the dojo after and they're like, I can't believe you agreed to this with these ridiculous tools. I'll put in the photo that the image that they use, that the girls use to explain. It looks like an 8-year-old drew it with some crayons. It's really cute and flat and lovely. So as they're sitting there discussing what she's gonna do, you hear a little snort. You know who's coming? Mr. P. And Mr. P walks in. I love Mr. P. This is also on the show when they reveal Mr. P's name, P-chan. Ranma's none too pleased. Oh well. So Ranma's like, clearly you guys have gotten close. And then she's like, well, yeah, we're more than friends. We sleep together. And it was just like super awkward for Ranma. And of course, Ranma has still said nothing. Ridiculous. So Akane gets up and she puts P-chan down and she tells Ranma not to bully P-chan, because from her perspective that's what's been happening. Well, meanwhile, Ranma's been like none too pleased with what's going on, obviously, but does nothing to prevent it, which is insane. So he makes kind of like comments or whatever, and P-chan attacks him and bites him, and then Ranma goes to retaliate, and Akane comes in and smacks him with one of those, what would you call it? It's like a ridiculous baton throwing bowling pin looking thing, and smacks him, and it goes all flat, and cool tone, and a little bit confetti-ish, which is a weird choice, but whatever, I don't get it. I guess it's just that to echo that era and whatever, sure. So Akane practices with all these tools, yes, including the hoop, I knew it. I remember it from the old anime. And it doesn't go well. She gets tangled, or doesn't catch things, or she breaks them. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, I know what's gonna happen if it's like the old anime, but I don't know what's gonna happen in this one. So this is going on. P-chan walks out of the dojo. You see him super cute, going along, and then you see Son, Akane's dad, having a bath, and then you see Mr. P walk into the room, and you're like, wait a minute, like, if he gets in, doesn't it out him? And then if Son sees P in house, isn't that a problem? Uh-oh. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but I don't know. What? What do you... Okay, how's this gonna go down? So P jumps in, Ryoga pops out, Son isn't even phased. I guess this is just his life now. He's just like learning to accept and expect anything. So Ryoga goes back downstairs. Akane's having a little bit of a childlike fit, saying that she's like uncoordinated and pleased to help her, na. And then all of a sudden he's like, I'll help you. And who's he? Ryoga. He's leaning up against the doorway, kind of too cool for school kind of thing. I really hope they don't change him, or I'm gonna be upset. Ranma immediately goes, what's up, P-chan? And then Ryoga runs over and grabs him, and he's like, God, seriously. Akane's like, you have a compassionate heart. And then the thing with Ryoga ordinarily is he blushes really easy and gets shy really easy, and they're showing this, where he's like, there's a pink tone background, and he's a little stressy and a little like, see, this is what I like to see. So Ryoga demonstrates by doing this amazing swirl with the ribbon of what he's capable of, and of course aims it at Ranma, and Ranma gets his butt beat. Not severely, but enough that it's funny, just like that, me. And and then he starts to train Akane, and he's like, you know, you did good today, and clearly you'll do better in time. And she's like, really? And then Ranma's like, that's obviously a lie. Ranma, can't you let her have anything? Akane's in the bath, probably with Epsom salts, helping her muscles. By the way, that really does help. I do that after the gym. And they show a beautiful shot of outside with the moonlight, all cool tone, nighttime, with a nice highlighting along the edge, with that like manga anime style. But the thing is it's, it gives a little bit of refractive moonlight light. So it's nice in a double entendre drawing sort of way. It's really, really good. I love that. So Ranma and Ryoga have words outside. Ryoga basically implies that Ranma's jealous of like the relationship that isn't really happening between Akane and Ryoga. And Ranma pursues Ryoga, and it pans to Kodachi in silhouette outside the house. I guess she's coming after Akane. Interesting. So Akane's on her bed, minding her own business, and a rose falls down, a black rose. And she looks up, and Kodachi's full-on Spider-Man on the ceiling. And she, this girl has lost her mind. She attacks. She has a massive mallet, and she smashes into Akane's bed, and everything goes flying, and it does the big manga word bubble, and it's hilarious. So Akane hasn't met Kodachi yet, so she's like, who are you? And she introduces herself, and basically says that we should fight fair. I'm sorry, did she just not attack her like by hanging on the ceiling and totally unknown and with a mallet, and like Akane's just hanging out after a training session in her pajamas? Like, fair by whose standards? This Looney Tune? Clearly. Kodachi's talking all this smack. Akane basically implies that she doesn't fight fair, or doesn't imply, she literally says she doesn't fight fair. And then, as you remember before, Ryoga is still pursuing P-chan, and they burst through the door, squish Kodachi against the wall, the full-on like behind the door, and they're still jumping around all over the room. So Ranma and Ryoga / P-chan to the rescue? Kind of? So they run out of the room, Ranma and Ryoga, because they really weren't helping. They just were, well, one was pursuing the other. And then Kodachi takes this moment while Akane's back is turned to hit her with the giant mallet. Akane does a really great move where she kicks it off away, fantastic. But then Kodachi does her signature move, where it's like the ribbon with the petals kind of swirling, and then she just leaves, leaving Akane this massive mess between Ryoga and Ranma and her, like, what? And then Katsumi pops her head in to see what's going on. And then Nabiki says, no more night fights. She's not wrong, but this clearly wasn't something she asked for. So Kodachi's sneaking away and she's on the rooftop and she sees P-chan run by, and then she turns her head and Ranma has a giant kettle, obviously pursuing P-chan, and Kong, like totally knocks out Kodachi. Kodachi's falling, Ranma grabs her to make sure, I guess, that she doesn't get hurt further. And then when she opens her eyes, she's completely smitten. They do that over-romanticized drawing with like the roses, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And this is the beginning of another dynamic of insanity. Do keep in mind, this is Kuno's sister, and she's the nuttier of the two. So she goes on this whole ramble about how like she never thought that anything would ever happen, or she gave up on it, blah blah blah, romance, blah blah blah, and how like this is like a new chapter more or less for her. And they do this over romanticized like Ranma on a horse holding her, and like the excessive flowers, and even like the horse looks insane. Like the look on the horse's face, look, that is Kodachi's like inner spirit animal. That level of crazy. So the Looney Tune pulls out a bouquet of roses. It obviously has some sort of tranky kind of thing in it, and she smacks Ranma on the face with it, and it knocks him over, and he's kind of like freaked out and scared because she's starting to look like really psycho. Like they really pull up the dark purples and the black and like all of it, and she's like real nutters. So she crawls on top of him. He looks visibly like very, very scared, like horror movie level scared. Like, is she going to eat him? And then she says something super creepy where she's like, my lips are yours to steal. Like, seriously? No, just no. And then thankfully Akane comes out of nowhere and like kicks her off the roof. Really nice style. All the art in this little bit is like dark and bright and contrasty where it needs to be. It's really well done, and I think it's even nice that they did an extra nice touch here where when Kodachi flies off, it's not the classical like blah, because she's not a normal person, she's a nutter, so she's doing like a almost like a walk like an Egyptian arm movement as she flies through the air with her legs, like super strange. I don't even know what to think. And then she's just like, I'll see you again, Ranma, and like cackling and going off. Like, yeah, she's a super interesting character, and she also reminds me of somebody I used to know. So the next morning, Akane is walking with Ranma to school, and some girls are approaching her and wishing her luck on her next battle. And of course, because this is how Akane's life is, she can never go to school and it be easygoing. What happens? Kodachi comes flying through the air to attack her, and Akane is skillful, so she stops it with one hand. So Kodachi mentions that she's not there to see Akane, she's there to see Ranma. So she goes after Ranma. Ranma's like trying to get away from her, basically like walking really fast. And then Kuno appears. Of course Kuno appears, because there's not enough. You have to have two of them. And Kuno's there fantasizing in his mind how like beautiful and elegant Akane's gonna be being a gymnast, and he has roses for her and whatever. So Ranma and Kuno bump into each other more or less. There's a little bit of a thing that goes on, and then Kodachi kind of clings onto Ranma, and Kuno kind of looks down at the two of them because he's quite large, and he's like, I give permission to date. And it's like, what? Nobody asked for this. Like, nobody asked for this. Seriously, nobody asked for this. So Ranma turns down Kodachi, and how he does it is really, seriously, he's just like, oh no, I have a fiance, and kind of hides behind Akane. And then basically Kodachi decides that it's twofold reason why they should have a match. And Kodachi's like, let's bet Ranma. Betting people? Okay. What? And then Kuno comes over and he's like, hey, you know, to break up with Ranma, all you have to do is lose the match. Like, win-win. And it's like everybody who's not one of these two siblings is just like, what is happening? What is happening? Kodachi does this like crazy evil laugh and kind of goes away. And then Kuno goes on to list all these horrible traits of his sister. I guess he's really selling it. And then turns to Akane and tells her that hopes that she won't get hurt in the match with like the roses, and he's like crying face, like, wow, people are scary. Back at the dojo, Akane and Ranma are practicing the gymnastics martial arts, and she's getting pretty good, but to Akane's frustration, even though it's not on her face, Ranma keeps evading. And she's more annoyed that Ryoga hasn't shown up because he's supposed to help her. Almost as if he was listening, P-chan saunters in with a whole bunch of packages on his back, with like treats from Hiroshima and a few other places near Kyoto, that kind of thing. And it's typical when you travel that you bring back gifts. I don't know if this was intentional travel, and Ranma makes that sort of comment, and then Akane's like, oh, well, P-chan isn't like Ryoga. And Ranma's like, okay, let's proceed to practice. And he's bugging P-chan, and P-chan bites him. And then they show P-chan on the floor covered, like wrapped up in ribbons. So cute. Akane unties P-chan and tells Ranma to stop bullying him, and he makes like the cutest little P-chan face. He's the best. As Akane and Ranma are practicing for an upcoming match, she does this crazy thing where she picks up a rope with her toes, way to go monkey feet, and then proceeds to trip and twist her ankle on a ball. What? How are you so skilled one way and just really not in another? And then of course she already injured her ankle from last time, which they don't mention, but we all remember. And who's gonna fight now? I wonder. So Katsumi is dressing Akane's ankle and Nabiki, and they're all talking, and who's going to fight? I wonder. And they all turn and look at Ranma, and Ranma's like, look, like I'm not wearing tights, I'm not doing this, this is not gonna happen. And then all of a sudden you see a splash, and Ryoga comes in from the hallway, and he's like, I guess we'll be up all night training. It's like, yes we will, Ryoga, yes we will. And that's the end of the episode. Love this episode, love the breadth of which they show Ryoga / P-chan. He's such a cutie, it's unreal. P-chan's the cutest thing ever. And Ryoga is showing more of his kindness, even though he's too cool for school. That's not really like, no, what's happening? Please fix this. I'm not happy about it. And it's really neat that they showed Kodachi, because Kodachi, much like Kuno, any episode she's in / he's in, it's always like hilarious and way more interesting. They just make it slapsticky and insane, and you never know what she's gonna do. I really would still like to see Shampoo and Moose and any of the other characters. I'd also like to see more of Nabiki. I feel like she played a bigger role in the original anime, but there's still more episodes to come for sure, so that's great to see. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen in this fight coming up. Like, this is gonna be hilarious. She's completely nuts. Like, I remember in the original anime, she would fight with things that on a scale that don't even make any kind of sense, but for her it does. Like, she somehow has a magic bag, like Felix the cat, where she can just pull things out of. Madness. So it should be really good. If you really like what I do, please comment, like, and subscribe. And if you really love what I do, head over to my Patreon. I have all sorts of randomness, outtakes, why my gym is the best. It shows anime at the gym, I'm not even kidding. And yeah, just fun stuff. And I hope you have a really great day, really great evening, really great week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.